Look at me, find here without you. I can see that you're doing pretty well too. I guess we're good at pretending. Can't you see I've nowhere to hide now? Let's agree to figure this out.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. It's an engaging and enlightening talk show on life, relationships, and the business of life. Grab a cup of juice and just chill. Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Live life. Live fully.
You are now tuned in to this week's episode of our podcast. Today we are going to interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in our field. By sharing our collective expertise, we will show you how to harness, control, and use your own skill set to achieve ultimate success and live the life you want. And now, please welcome your host.
Hello once again, my name is Omobola Stephen. Welcome to Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Now on today's show, I have Elzie Flenard, who is a podcast host, also a speaker, content marketing professional, and is also the founder at Podcast Town. Now, welcome with me on Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen, Elzie Flenard.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to chat with you.
All right, it's a pleasure once again. And so can my audience meet you, please?
Yeah, so I'm Elzie Flenard, as you mentioned. I am the founder and mayor of Podcast Town, and really just a podcaster at heart, host, speaker, and entrepreneur.
All right, great. So can you tell me about Podcast Town?
Yeah, so basically Podcast Town is a full service agency as well as community for podcasters to learn and grow and get better at the craft of podcasting, as well as grow their audience. And so our mission is to help podcasters, both big and small, do that, to grow their show. Because that's one of the things that's the most difficult thing to do, right? Once you've started your show, it's like, okay, how do I grow this thing? So our mission is to help people grow their shows.
All right, great. So you're going to help me out also. I'm a podcaster. So as a content marketing professional, so can you tell me what you've done?
I think for me, some people have said that my content seems very focused and strategic, and that's really a compliment, I guess. But really, I'm just authentic and in the moment, and I try to share things that inspire people and educate them. Our values are EMIT, which stands for educate, motivate, inspire, and transform. And I came up with this nice little graph and everything on it. But essentially, your education, your motivation, and your inspiration leads to transformation, right? You can be really educated. I'm sorry?
Can you come again?
Oh, I said your education, motivation, inspiration leads to your level of transformation, right? Because you could be really educated, but if you're not motivated, then you're not going to be transformed. But if you're educated and motivated, but you're not inspired, again, you might have some transformation, but you're not maximizing it. But when you're completely, fully educated, all the way motivated, and you're inspired, that's when you get the pinnacle of transformation. And so that's what I try to do with my content, is try to have all of those elements so that people are, experiencing transformation.
Oh, great. So thank you so much for that explanation. Now, I know that you're a podcast host. Now, I wanted to ask you, what's the role of podcasting, in achieving business or brand growth?
Well, yeah, I think.
Do you have any idea to share?
Yeah, I think the main contribution that podcasting has is the relationship building portion. Anybody that's been in business for any portion of time will tell you that it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's just another way of saying that it's all about relationship, right? It's all about how well you can build and cultivate relationships. And so podcasting is a fantastic way to build and cultivate relationships. And so if you're in business, then you should be either hosting a podcast or guesting on podcasts, because that's a fantastic way to build relationships.
Oh, great. So now, between audio and video marketing, you prefer, right?
Yeah, I'm an audio guy. So I've been in audio since for about 17 years or so. Wow. I love video. Video is great. I think, video is huge, but I think there's something special about being in between somebody's ears and them hearing your voice, and it being such a passive medium that, that is what I love about audio. So I'm an audio guy.
No, you need to balance it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's good to have both, just because video is huge as well with the visual aspect.
All right. So what's the future of podcasting in this era? Any to share?
The future of podcasting?
That's right.
I think the future of podcasting is very bright. I think we've just begun to scratch the surface. I think more and more companies are going to get on board, and more people, just regular people, are going to launch shows, because it's such a powerful medium and it's a lot of fun. I don't know about you, but I have fun doing what I do. So I think the future is very, very bright.
I do also. But there's so many disappointments. No, really. I face disappointment also.
Yeah, I think the disappointment comes from a lack of proper expectation. Most people aren't going to be Joe Rogan. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So I think if you go into podcasting wanting to make a ton of money from it, you've already set yourself up for a disappointment, because it's very, very, very difficult to monetize a podcast. It's even difficult to monetize music, right? So it's difficult to monetize anything. And so I think when you have the right expectation, you set yourself up for success. But yeah, with anything, there are going to be challenges and things that come up that you didn't expect, but that's part of the journey.
All right. Now I'm talking in terms of your guys, right? So I'm not really talking about the monetary aspects. Now about the guest stuff, how do you handle guests, when you have a guest who's coming to the show and somehow a day prior to the recording, right? Or to the show, and, she can make it.
I mean, if you have a guest scheduled and then for whatever reason they can't make it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very disappointing and frustrating and annoying and all of those things wrapped into one. But I think, again, those things are going to happen. There have been times where I've been scheduled for a podcast and, something personal comes up, or the power goes out, or, life happens. So I think as a host, you have to understand that sometimes things happen. But I will say I always have at least one other backup thing that I can do just in case, if my meeting gets canceled or if the guest doesn't show up, I kind of brush it off. I have my moment, right? We're human, so we get frustrated and annoyed. But then after that brief moment, you say, okay, well, I guess I'll go to my backup task. And I typically will reach out to them and say, hey, sorry, we missed each other. Let's reconnect at a later date, something like that. Nothing nasty, nothing mean, but just letting them know, hey, I am disappointed, but it's okay. No worries. Let's just reconnect later, that type of thing. So, so I always try to handle it as professionally as possible, while still, feeling the feels, right? Cause it is annoying and it is frustrating, but, having that backup thing to do and just that follow up to say, hey, we missed each other, but it's okay. And then on the back end, having something else that I can kind of work on so that I'm not losing that time. That's helped me.
That's true. And it all boils to your earlier point where you said we should try. It's either you don't have expectations at all, or you have lower expectations. So I think I also buy into that idea, like, don't have too much expectations. When it gets show up, fine. If it doesn't show up, just have to move on, So it's very important. Thank you for that. Now, it's been Lawali by Omobola Stephen. I've been having a worthwhile time with Elzie Flenard, who is the podcast owner, speaker, content marketing professional, and the founder at Podcast Town. Now, as a podcast host, as a professional in your field, how can we leverage on collaborations? Do you have any experience to share?
Yeah, collaboration is probably one of the more important things in anything, right? It's collaborating with people who bring skill sets, experiences to the table that you don't have or don't want to have. For example, I do a summit every year now. And I don't want to handle the technical parts. I don't want to make sure the stream is live and the sound is good and the video is great. I don't want to do that. And so I partner or collaborate with somebody who that's what their passion is. That's what they're really, really good at. And so I can focus on what I'm good at, which is meeting people, which is smiling for the camera and using my voice to connect. Right. So I think collaboration is extremely important, but it really comes down to you being self-aware enough to know what things am I good at? What things do I want to be good at? And what things should I collaborate with someone else on?
That's deep, and that's very important. Thank you so much. Now, so can you tell me how can one be a great podcaster?
Oof, that's a loaded question. I think I have tons of ideas. I think the main thing is, again, the self-awareness piece. As a host, your job and your mission is to bring value to the listener.
That's right.
Period. So that means if it's an interview show, getting better and better at asking questions, asking the right question to the right person at the right time, understanding tone, body language, and when people are prepared to go deep, when they're not. So really just honing in on the craft of having conversations, meaningful conversations, I think is one really good way to get better as a host. And, obviously as a host, you have to wear many hats. So there's more than just recording, right? You have to be good at that, right? You have to know how to get quality sound because people want to hear
personalities.
Exactly. People want to hear quality sound. And you have to be good at marketing. You have to know how to get your brand out there. You have to know something about branding. And so there's all these sort of skills that you have to have in order to be a good podcast host.
Oh, guys. So I want us to talk about entrepreneurship. So do you have, or what are some of the mistakes of entrepreneurship?
Another very loaded question, but a great question. I think the biggest mistake, I'll have to say, goes back to expectation again. Entrepreneurship is difficult. It's very, very hard. And a lot of people go into it thinking that is roses and rainbows. And it is not roses and rainbows. It's very, very difficult. And I think not understanding that, when people get into it and they're like, okay, I have to know how to do books. I have to know marketing. I have to know sales. I have to know operations. And I have to do the thing. So there's a lot, especially when you're first starting out, because you have to be everything. You have to be the chief bottle washer, so to speak. And so that can be daunting. But I encourage people to take your time and take it one step at a time, one thing at a time, and really have a vision of where you want to go, but break that down into small little bite-sized pieces, and then do one thing at a time, and you'll make progress.
Oh, great. Now, I love that idea. Thank you so much. Now, this person needs to ask or to be able to answer before you launch out.
3 major questions. Okay. Am I passionate about this? Am I equipped? And is there a need?
All right. So can you expatiate?
Yeah, because I think if you are going out and on your own and running a business and you're not passionate about it, you have a really good chance of failing. Conversely, if you are launching out and you're passionate, but you're not equipped, you're not good at what it is that you're doing, you'll also fail.
That's
and
right.
if you're passionate and you're good at what you do, but the market does not need or want what you do, you will fail. So I think those are the three main questions. Are you passionate? Are you equipped? And does the market need what you have?
Correct. Thank you so much, Elzie Flenard, for coming to Lawell by Omobola TV. Now, do you have any projects that you're working on?
Yeah, I have some top secret projects. No, no, there's I'm excited about. We're adapting a book to a podcast series that I'm really excited about. So that's coming out shortly here. So I'm pretty excited about that. So hopefully we'll get a chance to do more of those types of projects.
Oh, great. I wish you best of luck.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. So do you have any parting word you want to share with my audience?
Yeah, sure. So if you are listening to this and you are a podcaster, I encourage you to keep on going. I know it's a lonely journey sometimes, but again, take it a day at a time, step at a time, and collaborate. Find people who are good at what you don't want to be good at or what you're not good at, and collaborate, create partnerships, and think about the long haul. Think about why you started your show in the first place, and keep going.
Great. Thank you so much for that positive feedback. Now, so how can we reach you?
The best way to reach me is via email. It's it's mayor@podcasttown.net.
All right. It's okay. Thank you once again, Elzie, for coming to Lawell by Omobola TV. I hope some other time that we can do this again.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. It's a pleasure. Now, it's been Lawell by Omobola TV. Thank you for hanging around. I need you to stay safe always. With all my love. Bye for now.
Can we work it out? Only time will tell. It's gonna take a lot, 'cause we've been through hell. I can't be without you. I've tried and I failed. So can we work it out? Only time will tell.